Right. All right. So come on over here. I want to go through something with you. We are going to be doing free consultations. Attorney Walter Hnot, the most viewed, subscribed to, clicked on disability attorney in America. What we're going to be doing is basically answering questions for people that want to know how something works. We give 5 minutes per call. You have your legal question ready right up front, no story mode, no question stacking, and basically use a fake name when you call in. Can I give you a perfect answer? No, I don't have your entire file in front of me. I don't have your entire background to know exactly all the case details. Cannot give you a perfect answer. Don't expect it. With that said, if I do answer the question, if I help you out, or you like the fact that I'm helping out people essentially for free, in the middle of the night to try and help people in the community with tough questions, please consider heading to Google and typing in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida and throwing some stars up there. I love seeing that. With that said, like and subscribe. All right, let me get the phone up and rolling here real quick. All right, here we go. Boopity boop. That's not it. Hold on. Boop. Boop. All right, so the phone is up. Now, how does it work? You call into 407-279-1754. Again, 407-279-1754. We have the first caller right now. This phone is on speakerphone. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. You are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Legal question is, my case started with a workman's comp case in 2017. I went to a private short-term disability insurance policy through my employer.
Okay.
At the end of that 6 months, I eventually started going towards disability, and that was approved in 2023.
Okay.
But it left me with like 3 years of no income. The only thing they ever did was call, and they asked, "Is your workman's comp case still going?" And I said, "Yes." They said, "Okay," and they hung up, and that was it. That's all I've ever heard from them. Shouldn't I have heard of something else by now?
Let me ask you this. So you went on workman's comp, short-term disability. What happened to your LTD?
It was tick-borne diseases, and that new alpha-gal, the one with the meat allergy and mammalian allergy.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough evidence, and they said, "Well, until there's more evidence, we can't go with a long-term disability," and so they just stopped. And the workman's comp case is still going. It started in 2017. It is still going.
Are they working on a settlement? What's the gig with it?
They're working on tying medical causations, whether alpha-gal leads to mast cell activation syndrome. I've got the Lyme and Rocky Mountain spotted fever and all that crap. But it's really the mast cell that messed me up.
Okay. So hit me with the legal question again. What's the legal question?
Shouldn't I have received something from Social Security, one of those review things by now?
Well, I mean, CDR, they could do it at 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, not at all. I mean, it depends on what the expectation is for benefits. So how long have you had your SSDI benefits?
Since 2023.
I mean, realistically, it depends on what your impairments are. Yours sounds a little bit like, they're kind of waiting to see what science catches up with. But the bottom line is, I mean, they could do one in a year at the 3-year mark. So you're going to be looking at the 3-year mark, 5-year mark, and 7-year mark because you already passed the 12-month mark. Once you get past that whole situation, at that point, you know what I mean? You'll know. But you'll get either a short form or a long form in the mail, and then they'll begin the process of going through the 8-step sequential process.
If they determine that it shouldn't have been approved, will they come after me for the payments that have been made?
Well, yeah, I mean, they do. So what they do then is they see if you've improved medically, and then from that point in which you've improved, from the medical change in which you've improved, that's when they say, "Hey, you weren't disabled at this point, yada yada yada," and then they start going after you for checks, related to that going forward in an overpayment. But the reality here, to be honest with you, and I mean, keep in mind, sometimes and usually they'll just choose the date in which they cut the benefits. But the bottom line is this: although if there's fraud involved, they'll hit you for a back date. You know what I mean? What I would say is this: I mean, if you are severely impaired and unable to do things, you'll remain on the program. But what you want to go study is the 8-step sequential process, because those are the elements that define whether or not you get to keep your benefits. And then basically what a lot of people do is they do that 1 hour thing with me. And then I go through all the types of evidence that exist out there that you should obtain in order to go ahead and bolster the likelihood that you'll get through a CDR without issues. Yep.
Okay, there's the part where I tell everybody to do that review thing, because your law firm really does count on that right now. It helps a lot. And I appreciate everything you've done. I've been listening for a couple of years now.
Thank you.
You're golden. You're just golden. Thank you for doing what you do. Not just here, but I'm talking about the community, helping the homeless. That's really awesome.
You know, I have a question too. You know, we have all these pills for dogs. We have all these pills for cats where certain types of bugs and insects, if they were to bite us, it wouldn't affect us with the types of diseases they have, or they bite us and die. It is odd that we don't have vitamins that would protect us from geographic location-based issues. So, for example, anything from a snake bite to a spider bite to, you know, some sort of mosquito issue. It is odd that we don't have something for that. And it is odd that the human race hasn't come up with a way to protect itself. It's almost as if they are somehow profiting on us not being protected, you know?
It's becoming more of an issue as well, because there's these ticks, for whatever reason, moving more north. Whereas the Lone Star tick, you didn't find it above Missouri. Now they're finding it up in Minnesota. They're finding it out in Wyoming.
Yeah.
All these ticks are migrating, and there's a lot more. I was stunned. At first, there was only 5,000 I was diagnosed with that. And now there's like 550,000, and that's just the ones they know of.
Yeah. No, I hear. I literally, Shadow was licking himself and pulled a tick off of himself. It was a deer tick, so you know, not really an issue. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's just one of the things I noticed with this is that at the end of the day, we don't really have a situation for, you know, this future where, you know, to be fair, people are protected and not getting these issues. And, you know, it's not like they really have a lot of great medication for tick-related illnesses. You know, it's weird. Like they don't really profit that well off of that stuff. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. It's not like diabetes where, you know, they can make a lot of money. Well, they used to make a lot of money off of it, but it's just one of those things. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, Social Security, if it's like a workman's comp case, do they defer to that workman's comp case until it's over?
Well, they're not going to defer to a private industry adjudicator. You know what I mean? They're going to do their own thing. You know, federal government is federal government, but they'll keep an eye on it. They'll ask for a report related to it. It'll be, you know, auxiliary evidence as part of the adjudication in your 8-step sequential process during the CDR. But yeah, I mean, the main thing is with these types of illnesses, your body tends to have immunoresponse reactions that give you a lot of weird symptoms. And that's how you tend to build the long game when it comes to these.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Won't take up any more time. Appreciate you.
Perfect, sir. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question?
Yeah. My name is Ron, and I'm calling you about they're trying to cut my benefits off. Can you hear me?
It's tough. It's really, really blurry. Is there any way you can talk like directly into the phone, or swap it up with the mic? Yeah. Sure.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, way better.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I'm overseas, and they're trying to cut my benefits off, and I received, I want a request for reconsideration and to continue my benefits.
So is it for lack of severity? Yeah, like what's the reasoning? And it's really quiet. Like it's super hard to hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm calling you from overseas.
Okay.
Yes. I'll speak up.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the reason is. My assumption would be because I haven't used my Medicare in the past year.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's gonna, red flag, blinking light. What were the top 5 impairments that you originally found disabled under?
As far as I know, my spinal cord, I have a back issue.
Okay. So I mean, like, so when you say you're overseas, give me some directional. Are you in like South China Sea? Are you in Europe? Are you in South America? Like, give me some directional.
Philippines.
Yeah. All right. So are you a veteran?
No.
All right. So let me ask. So, all right. What's happening that I'm seeing on a lot of those like 1 hour calls that I do, people that live over in like Thailand, Taiwan, stuff like that, they have, like OIG CDI units in full swing. So they're investigating people and doing a lot of CDRs. So kind of the bottom line is, they may be building a case against you. It could just be that they're showing that, you don't have medical treatment, but it is crucial for, spine related injuries, your 1.0 listings. It is crucial for neuros that you have repetitive continuous medical treatment, and they're looking for one crisis medical treatment a year related to fall risk, drop risk, loss of sensation, stuff like that. That's what they're looking for with those claims when they do their CDRs.
They're looking for what kind of injury you said they're looking for?
They're looking for repetitive medical treatment, and then also crisis medical treatment where you end up in the emergency room for like loss of sensory function, fall risk where you fall because of loss of your ability to walk. They're looking for continuous status updates. You're dropping cups. You have difficult time holding things. You've loss of what they call fine manipulative functioning with your fingers, like typing on a keyboard, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything I can do to keep my benefits going until I return to America?
Well, they're doing an 8-step sequential process CDR review. So the main thing is go to the doctor, get a RFC from a doctor or RC form, get a physician statement, basically build the claim. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people move overseas and then just stop getting medical treatment, and they're not going to play that game anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're checking in on people, because it used to be you could just move overseas and SSA was done with you, but that's not how it is anymore. Now they have official CDI units, investigations, all that stuff overseas.
Okay. So you want to start getting doctor's forms, the RFC form, and get treatment for my back.
Yes. Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly. I mean, you gotta get that rolling, because no treatment means stabilized and not in pain or problem. So you got to get that going.
Understood. Is there any way to continue my benefits as of now?
Well, I mean, have they already taken them away?
No, not until the 30th.
Yeah, I mean, you can request basically, you can request that they continue them, and they'll continue them all the way through the ALJ hearing, at which point, if the ALJ decides against you, then they'll remove the benefits.
Okay, so how do I go about continuing my benefits? I understand about the doctor. I can get the treatments here. I have seen doctors here. It's not like I haven't done anything about it, but I don't have the RFC form, and I haven't had injections. I just been getting pain medication.
So what I would say is this: they just came out with a new form. It's let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. I think this is under. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. It wasn't in the press section. I think it was in the emergency messages. One sec, hold on. Yeah, emergency messages. Yeah, here it is. Implementation of Form SSA 792 statutory benefit continuation election statement. So yeah, the new form that was just created and released on 5/28/25, so like not even a month ago, is the SSA-792. So you're going to go ahead and go on Google. You're going to print out the SSA-792 form and submit that to the local field office that's overseeing your benefits.
With this form, that was within the allotted time of 60 days.
I would say it again.
This SA 792. So I'm going to go on Google and print this form.
Yeah, exactly. You'll print out this form. It's an elections to continue your benefits.
Okay, even though it's past the 10-day mark.
Yeah, I mean, you can do some wiggle there and kind of get them turned on.
Well, I hope the wiggle work.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to elect SBC, and submit their request within 15 days. But I mean, you're overseas, so you can claim didn't receive notice, didn't know how to work, blah, 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 didn't receive acknowledgement, yada, yada. I mean, you can claim those things if they're true. But let me do this. I've got to keep taking calls, and we're at 8 minutes, so I will catch you later. But you have a wonderful, wonderful day, okay?
Thank you. You too now. For your help.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye.
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 Perfect, everybody. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is we're trying to keep it to 5 minutes where I answer as many questions within a 30-minute window. We're at 16 minutes and 44 seconds. So let's see where the next caller is going to call in. Here we go. Okay, caller is on. Here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
So let's see where the next caller is going to call in. Here we go.
Yep, so you're going to go ahead. Yep, go ahead. Yeah, you just have to mute the computer on your end, and then basically we'll talk through the phone. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you're not Walter, but I'm looking at Walter.
I am Walter. I'm Attorney Walter Hnot. Howdy, howdy.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You are talking to me. I got your volume down.
Sure.
Okay, my question is that I'm on Social Security disability.
Okay.
And I'm 3 months away from 59. And I pulled all of my 401k out. And it was a little over 15.
Okay.
And so 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not much.
Okay.
But will Social Security mess with it? And I live in a low income apartment. You think they will like say, oh, you don't need them but that's not enough to live off for,
Well,
I don't know if I make it to 65, because I got COPD, I got asthma, osteoporosis, a lot of stuff.
I mean, remember, if you pull it out early, you're going to get penalized financially. So just recognize it's not a game of, are you poor? I mean, there's part of that, but they're still going to penalize you for taking the funds out, earlier than you were supposed to. So,
Well, they took money already out. I have the check.
Okay.
I just hadn't deposited it yet because I'm like, my Social Security goes into the same bank. Then I think it looks fishy if I go to another bank.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm dealing with. I mean, I got to report all my income to the people at the, the low income place, that I do my stuff. So I'm not hiding anything.
Sure.
I'm not going to hide anything. And I'm getting, like a little check from the disability people. And they called me the other day and I thought I lost it when I took my 401k out.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, no, you didn't lose it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so that means I think they're paying my life insurance until I'm 65 because that's when everything is voided when you turn 65.
So there's a lot to that. Would you lose your SSDI benefits by pulling these funds out? No. Would you be punished for taking them out early? Yes. I mean, vesting periods, okay. I get what you're saying. I feel so. Here's the thing: a lot of people ask me questions, but they don't actually ask me the question they want to really get at. What is the question you want to get at? Because I feel like at 59, that's not your question. I feel like your question is 62, 65, 67, 70, like down the line. What is your path to strategically do well? I feel like that's where you're going with this.
Well, I mean, I don't think that, to be honest, I will live that long because I have severe breathing problems. I can, can't walk even to the garbage can. I get out of breath. I just don't think that I'm going to be here. And, really, I hope, I'll live to be 65, but I'm not guaranteed. I sleep with mask on. I could die in my sleep anytime, because I have respiratory issues, and without breathing treatments. But I got oxygen tied into my sleeping machine. But when I can walk around, I can walk short distances without the oxygen on. Today I went for a walk, and it was to the 6 minutes that my oxygen dropped to 88. And that qualifies you for oxygen. So it doesn't want, it's more I think I got heart issues because it's more the breathing and heavy chest, but today I've done better. I've gotten better. I've done CT lung scans, and they had nodules, and then I had none. So I'm getting better, but I still don't feel like. And the stock market, I get scared when everybody goes losing money. And plus, when I'm 59 and a half, I'm supposed to be able to take it. What if I don't make it to 65? That's what I said. I wanted the money to take it and maybe, get life insurance, or not life insurance, burial insurance, or buy a car because, I don't have no way. I have to get people to pick me up, and a friend drives me sometimes to the doctor's appointments.
What is your respiratory impairment?
I've got COPD. I've got asthma. I have osteoporosis, like I said. And a couple of years ago in 2024, he had on my papers, I got hypertension. I've got, I don't know, it's another name that they name off. It's similar, I think, to hypertension. I have to take like 7 or 8 pills a day. I'm going for bone, where they inject you to make your bone stronger. This should be the last year. I'm going for the last 4 years. So my bones are very brittle. I get a bone density test later this year. I just want to know if Social Security's going to try to take it because it's in the same bank. Since I'm 59 and a half, I understand they're not supposed to be able to touch it. But I am going to pay taxes at the end of the year, and my rent will go up because they go by your income.
Okay, so what you're really saying to me is you want to spend the money on fun stuff. You don't want your benefits to be injured. You're going to pass away within the next 5 years. I'm assuming smoking, or was it something else?
It was smoking, and I had a grandmother that took care of me when I was young, and she smoked, around me like crazy, before you wasn't supposed to smoke around people. They didn't check me for genetics to see if it was my genetics, and it wasn't. So it has been for smoking and being around my grandmother, when I was little.
So just to clarify, this is long term. You're not telling me about any nodules. So what's on the horizon that you know about that I don't?
Well, then when the next time they done the CT scan, the nodule had gone away and it got smaller, and it wasn't as big, and it didn't. And then it says, like it was saying the size of the nodules the first time, and now, it'll show that I don't have any nodules left on.
Where was the nodule specifically?
In my lungs.
How big was the nodule?
I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 centimeters or something. It wasn't that big, but they were scared it's going to grow, so I get a low dose.
Millimeters
year.
or centimeters?
I don't know, millimeters or centimeters.
Because if it was, centimeters, both of them are bad. But if it were centimeters, that's a big problem.
I can't even pick up. They told me to bring my breathing machine with me. I'm on a trilogy that pushes air in your mouth at night. It's got oxygen pipe in. They told me to bring it today, and my friend had to carry it for me. And I said, how many pounds do you think that is? And he said, 15. I said, I can't carry it to the living room without getting out of breath. And then when I bend over, oh my God, it's my lower lung is a problem. They wanted to remove them at one time. I told them no, because I was too scared.
If I were in your position, I would have fun. If I wanted to know, and then use the hell out of my Medicare, what I would do is I would find a way to get a Pronovo scan, which is where they do the full body scan. Yeah, that's where they do the full body scan and have AI go through all the images.
I've been forgetting things like crazy. I couldn't remember my own phone number the other day. And it's easy to remember. It's numbers right in a row. 1, 2, 3. A number like that. And I couldn't remember it. And then I'll be talking and I can't remember what I was talking about.
So
I already think that I'm getting, my mom had dementia. I'm already thinking I might be getting dementia.
So your big thing is to find out if you have any lymph nodule issues. Because if you do, then you got a bigger problem. You know what I mean?
In the December, I can't get another CT scan because the insurance wants you to let you get it till each year. Once a year.
No, I hear you, but if you had an emergency problem, you know what I mean, where you went to the emergency room, then they would be forced to do it.
Oh, the last time I was in the emergency room was 2018, and I almost died. I was in a coma for 9 days. But I've been doing good ever since. I've been trying. I live in a 1-bedroom, nice, apartment that I love. I love it more than I love, the money that I just got. I would rather give it all up to them if I had to, just to stay where I'm living. Because I've been so comfortable here. I've been here since 2006 where I live.
So here's what I would say. A Pronovo is a special scan. It's pay to play. It's not insurance for the most part.
Pronovo.
Yeah.
How do you spell that? P-R-O?
P-R-E-N-U-V-O, I think. Let me check real quick. Hold on. Let me get the right spelling. It's like a Prenuvo or Nuvo or Novo or whatever. Hold on. Yeah, P-R-E-N-U-V-O. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They do a whole body scan. Yeah.
P-R-E what?
N-U-V-O. N-U-V-O.
Okay, and it's first lesson.
Yeah.
I would ask Google, but then when we get off the phone, I'll probably forget what his name is.
Gotcha.
So like I said, I get too forgetful.
So what I would say is this, I would take a look at that because at the end of the day, you need to know where this is spreading, because if you're starting to forget things, that is a classic sign of, a neurological cancer-based spreading issue that could have started in the lungs, went to the lymph nodes, is in the spine, yada yada. So I would use the emergency room, because you're exhibiting a bad symptom that is usually later down the line when it comes to that. But I tell you what, I'm trying to keep these to like 5-ish minutes, and we're at 12 minutes. Let me catch up with you down the line, and rock and roll from there.
Okay. But Social Security can't touch it because I'm 59 and a half. Is that right?
I mean, with penalties or tax. So from an SSDI perspective, that's not traditional income. So, I mean, hold on, let me look and see. This was out of a 401k?
Yes, and the guy told me the reason I was going to get to stay on disability, because it was like money liquidated, it's considered money. It ain't tied up in anything. And I know I've got to save some of it because I don't know how many taxes there to pay at the end of the year.
So
did
this was
text me
before
about
59 and a half or after?
the what?
Was it
Say that
before or
again.
after?
Before or after what?
So if after age 59 and a half, it's considered income or tax, ordinary income tax rate for that year. So let's see, how would that, because if they
I got like
considered it,
7.
yeah, if they considered it traditional SSDI, I don't, because it's not regular income, that's like, shovel mop income. So I don't think this would affect you. What I think would
Yeah, I
happen,
only got
yeah. So I mean, keep
17.
in mind, if they did affect you, it would only affect you for 1 month. But I don't think it's going to affect you. It's not the correct type of income.
Okay, because I didn't want to put it in savings or then stop my check because I got $17,000 now that I'm going to have to pay taxes on, and I can't play with because I ain't had a car in years and years and years.
But you're
You know.
SSDI, right? You're not SSI.
Yes, SSDI.
Okay, you're sure, and it's not a
And
hybrid allowance. You don't have like a half of this, half of that.
I do get disability from the company that I work for, $250 a month.
You do get, wait, what?
Disability from the company I work for.
Oh, that's not,
like
yeah.
a pension, like you.
No, you're fine
It was
then. You're fine. But if you were SSI,
$215.
yeah, if it were SSI, it'd be a different gig. But no, you're fine. You're going to be totally fine. They're not going to remove your SSDI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your help tonight. I'm sorry I took longer.
Hey, real quick though, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7 centimeters. That's a big problem. So
Well, maybe I was wrong because I would have to look at my medical records and tell you. You know what I'm saying?
but you don't want to be wrong
you know,
about
It was
that.
gone.
Because remember,
It was gone the next time. But
all
they
right.
do say they seen a mass in my CT scan over my kidneys. Over my kidney. So they ain't told me to go get that checked out. I'm worried about that. Like, what's a mass?
If it were
Yeah,
me,
like-
I would be in the emergency room complaining about the symptoms. I'd be using my Medicare. I would use and abuse the option of lots of treatment, because remember, the most money you can use, the most money you can get out of your Social Security benefits are your Medicare benefits. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars in a month on Medicare alone. You know what I mean? In your situation, healthcare is probably more important than the actual, monthly check. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I got a lump sum of 17, and I just had put it in the bank.
But remember, really, listen to what I'm saying, though. You get so much per month from SSDI benefits, but you also get Medicare.
Yeah.
You can have those doctors spend thousands upon thousands of tens of thousands of dollars just on working to keep you healthy. Like, you're not utilizing to the full amount the thing that you could spend the most money on each month and get the most benefit out of.
Well, if I could get stem cell treatment with this money that I just pulled out, I would do it.
But you don't know where to
Because
inject
one
it. You don't know where to
What?
inject it. You don't know where to inject it. You need a Pronovo scan to figure out where the
Pronovo
problems
scan.
are. Yeah, go look at the Pronovo scans. Your main thing is
Okay.
lungs and lymph nodes, stuff like that, because you need to know where you can get stem cell treatment if that would be the fix.
Yeah, because I checked into it years ago, and we had to drive a long ways, and it cost a lot.
You got to go to
Yeah,
Mexico.
okay.
That's basically the gig.
Oh my God, I have too much anxiety to go to Mexico. I can't even hardly go in stores because I'm
Sure.
scared I'm going to get COVID. And because I didn't get it last time, but it's coming around again. They said so.
Yeah. But
I just live in fear all the time, and I hate it. I finally got a 1-bedroom, and it's just me. And I used to have my daughter with me, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna go on.
yeah, no worries. But
about that. But I'm just
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Walter. I don't want to take up. I
Absolutely.
know other people want to talk to you.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
Okay, if I have any more questions, I'll call you on another day that you're doing the calls again.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Okay, Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
everything you do, and I'm going to leave right now a review for you on disability resolution.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Perfect. Let me go over here. We're going to do one more phone call because, that one was a little bit longer. So, I want to make sure everybody, gets a shot kind of gig. So, if there's anybody else that wants to call in, I know we missed a ton of calls and no biggie. If somebody wants to call in, they can call in. But let me see if we can get one more caller to go ahead and call in. If not, I'm going to go ahead and take a break and relax and hang out, Let's see what we can do. I still have to see up there it is. Hold on. Here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question?
Hello?
Howdy, Madam. Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. What is your legal question?
Yes, sir. So I totally have stage fright. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
Okay, so here we go. I've been on disability since 1999. It was for a mental disability.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and looked, I downloaded the Social Security app and I opted out of mail, and I'm thinking maybe that's not a good idea, but I looked at my earnings records, and so I basically have no earnings, no credits, none of anything. And I got a review. The last time I got a review, we were like in the heart of the pandemic, and I was supposed to go to their doctor and, for the review. And pretty soon I got a letter saying I didn't have to go. And so I guess I might be about due for another one, but I have a big fear that I won't get reapproved. And I just don't have, I'm 47 and I don't have skills. How do they look at me?
How do they look at you? Like, what do you, like, give me, yeah.
Yeah. Do they have compassion to see that I haven't been in the workforce since I was, 20 years old? And now I'm 47.
I mean, there's a work skill assessment for direct entry where you don't have any modern day skills, but in the direct sense of what you're saying is, are they going to have compassion for you? No, it's a situation of analysis. Like, do you meet the elements of a listing? Should you be given a grid out? Do you have a vocational allowance potential option?
This way, I would like to work. I want to be a productive member of society.
Yeah.
I need to work. I'm afraid. I don't know. I mean, I depend on it. So like, I'm afraid of like, they're even asking people to pay back benefits. Like, in no way have I ever tried to defraud them. I was told to go on disability. And when I was 20 and they put me on disability and then I got the retroactive, I think they pushed this disability because the rehab wanted to get all my retroactive, and they did. That sounds wild, huh?
So, I mean, no, I mean, I get what happened. I know what happened with the whole COVID stuff too. I read all the back end emergency messages released by the commissioners. So, look, are you able to work?
Well, now physical problems are coming into play. I believe that now I've had high blood pressure, and I think I have undiagnosed diabetes, and my legs this is just what's happening within the last year. My legs are currently very swollen right now, and I can't get to a doctor because I'm a caregiver for my aunt. And I don't know. I have a lot of fear and panic nowadays. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
So let me just, are you a paid care worker?
Huh?
Are you a paid care worker?
I'm not, and I know that I cannot be. I don't want to,
So then
sound me
you're not a care worker, you're just a buddy.
I'm just she raised me from age 2 weeks old, and she was my payee when I did get approved, and now she is 97 years old, and why wouldn't I want to help her like she helped me my whole life?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're giving yourself a vocational title when you're not that. You're just a buddy. You're a buddy helping her. So point that I'm getting at is you have no job, right? You have
I
no
have
job.
no.
Okay. Okay. So do you know about the 9-month trial work period, the 3-month extended eligibility period? Do you know about like the ticket to work
I've heard of
program?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of ticket to work, and I don't remember if I did try that and fail, but I've heard about ticket to work for sure. Does that even exist still?
Yeah. So I guess
they don't cut off your medical insurance, and they give you a chance to try to work, right?
yeah. So I guess what I'm kind of wondering about is you say you want to go back to work. It sounds like you could do some work. Why don't you just get like a sedentary work at home job? You got 9 months to try it out, 3 months of extended eligibility, and then you can go into the ticket to work program.
Okay. So, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. And if I don't do well, then it'll be documented, and then I won't have to have that fear,
I mean, you might be awesome. You might be a total shit show. That's okay either way. Yeah.
But I like to work from home because due to the fact that when I hear about going and getting a job and being on time, right? That's an impossibility with me my whole life. Like I'm not punctual. And
me either. Yeah.
Right? It might work in some cases. But I don't know. I'm 47. I feel like my life has flashed before me, and now it's just really a scary world, and now's not the time to start something new, or maybe it is. I don't know.
What is your current age again? Like, how old are you?
47.
I mean,
47.
You got a lot of space and room to test. You know what I mean? I would make a plan.
Still try, right?
I would make a plan. Yeah.
And I've never done that for myself. I've always relied on, just the stability thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for it. I don't want to, sound ungrateful, but at the same time, I know there's got to be more people than me, and it seems like I don't fallen under the radar, or there just needs to be some adjustments made to the disability program, I don't know.
If you want to do more with your life, then this call is the first step of doing more. You know what I mean? Take that step, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to hate yourself, and hating yourself in your 50s and 60s is a much worse place to be than hating yourself in your 30s and 40s.
I agree. And it's starting to dawn on me, a lot of things. And it's just, it's a lot that I would love to make a difference. I would love to do some kind of social work maybe, and talk to people that, were like me in my 20s, and, I had multiple hospitalizations for my mental disorders, and it was more attention seeking than not. And I just wish I could talk to somebody and maybe help them not do what I've done. Or, I'm not blaming anyone. It's just, it happened, and here I am. And wow.
So here's what I would say. A lot of people dream of being something that would make them feel good. That's not what's going to go ahead and get you to where you need to be, because financially,
pay the rent and
honestly, after Biden's 4 years, like the whole follow your heart doesn't work anymore. So it's just, everything's too expensive. Like food is ridiculously expensive. So what I would say is this, you got to find something that you're capable of doing that's going to increase the likelihood of you having a better life. And the whole, do what you love. You have to do what's going to earn you enough to survive, because being a counselor, they're going to expect you to get out there, talk to people, go to people's houses, all that kinds of stuff. And, to be fair, it's just not
feasible, right? I thank you for that, because sometimes my way of thinking is really, how can I put it, closest person to me in this world is my aunt, who I'm caregiving for. And she's told me in the past I'm gullible and naive. So I don't realize sometimes the gravity of things in this world. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
I guess what like if I could just tell you one thing, with this whole the phone thing is, I guess the one thing I would say to you about how this stuff works and something to kind of keep in mind, at the end of the day, it is important for you to take care of yourself because you're not in a position to take care of others. And, that's something like a lot of people get wrong. If you can't be in a position, so the only people who can effectively take care of others are people that either have a job doing it or are financially capable of doing it and being able to still afford their bills. And that ain't you. Yeah. So you got to get to you being good first, and then you can tuttle back over to essentially what we were talking about, which is, your future going forward from there.
Yeah. I would like to talk to you. How much is it? 200. I'd like to say goodnight for now because you've talked to me a long time and I appreciate that. But how do I go about doing that?
Oh, if you want to do the 1 hour private session, like I would do this, try and catch up with me again on like Monday or Thursday for the consultation thing. And then I'll tell you some jobs that you should look into that are going to be the smartest choice for you when it comes to available work, available options, all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, you want to set yourself up for success, because success, you got to look for it. It just doesn't magically come. You know what I mean? So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. But sounds good. I will catch you a little bit later,
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So that's going to be our final call for the night. I just wanted to check in with you guys, make sure everybody's okay. Joel Wright, thank you for the $2 donation. That's absolutely amazing. I'm looking right at him. That's super, super cool. With that said, at the end of the day, I just want to let you guys know, Joel Roy also became a member. Please take care of each other. Please take care of yourself. It is going to be spicy with this whole Iran thing. We're going to do some videos on kind of expectations and how it will affect Social Security benefits. Some people told me today it will never affect them. And I was sitting there going like, do you not understand how the price of food, oil, repair costs to AC units affect the disabled? But again, it's an interesting world. People just don't get it. But I will catch you all a little bit later. Please remember to like, subscribe, head over to Google. If I helped you, please consider leaving a star up there. Well, hopefully more than one. On the Disability Resolution Law Firm, Disability Resolution Florida search page. I will catch you a little bit later. We will rock and roll from there. And thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And we will go and tomorrow do some more fun videos. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.